All right. So architecture for V3. In the old version of ConnectSMART, as well as if you're using the developer edition, the information to be able to connect back to your data for any of the databases is in the gadget itself. One of the major changes that we have with V3 is that now ConnectSMART actually has a server. So the ConnectSMART server is what communicates with your different databases. So if you have ConnectWise and Kaseya, ConnectWise by itself, HyperPod, Kaseya, etc., you have one installation of the server which communicates to the different databases. Now, that allows us to do several things. One is it enables us to keep all of the information in one place, adds a lot of security options, and in addition to that, adds the ability to do things like the mobile server. So, the mobile server is going to have the same create function, and those of you who are on the very latest version of ConnectSMART, you'll be used to seeing this where you have the drop-down to be able to select between the different types of which data connection that you have. Now, on the main page, you have the device. So you can do this with or without the skin for the device. You can create just a standalone gadget on the specify your resolution. But this is going to default to the best quality resolution for a particular gadget. And I'm going to mute Cat here because I think
I muted also.
Let's see here. I think it's causing us a little bit of feedback here. All right. Much better. All right. So, yeah. So you have the ability here to go ahead and set up our particular device, and you can see that there's a whole host of available devices. Even the BlackBerry, as I guess as it still is out there, but let's stick with the kind of the primary ones, which are going to be either Apple, Google, Motorola. So we'll just go ahead and stick with those particular devices. The important thing really is the resolution that you can see here down here at the kind of at the bottom and on the side of what the resolution is for the device and what you're actually viewing for the device. As you're designing a gadget, you can go ahead and work with this in either the portrait or the landscape mode. So whether that's iPad, etc. Now, similar to the regular creators, you do have the ability to put multiple gadgets together. However, using the same caveat, you're really best off to have these as individual gadgets, which you can then pull into and see them as individual items because of overlapping issues with parameters. So let's go ahead and take one. And I'm going to go ahead and take a look at, let's just play with one here for cat. So if I want to go ahead and look at the kind of the sales that we have, I can simply double click on the gadget, and same way that you would have for the regular creator, it's going to go ahead and drop that gadget into the pane where you can work with that gadget. Then we can go into the data and edit the parameters to be able to change the different elements that we want to be able to configure. So do we want to look back 6 months? Do we only want to look at maybe 1 or 2 months, 3 months, etc. We can specify a particular team, business unit, or location. So now at this point we have our basic gadget, and we can go ahead and play with that, kind of see what is it going to look like at runtime if it's at the resolution of the device that we're looking at. I'm going to close that, and then all we have to do is simply save that gadget out. So if we go ahead and save it, I'm going to just call this a test gadget. We now have our test gadget defined. All that is needed to be done at this point is simply copying
that gadget into the mobile server. Now, let me see here. Let me grab this really quick. And log in here. Give me one moment. So this is my ConnectSMART server right here that I have on the screen now as it's logging in. And we don't want to do that. Okay, so all that needs to happen for those gadgets to now be published out for my end user is to simply copy those into my mobile server directory. So by simply dropping them into this folder, now those will be deployed by default if we have not put any password restrictions or other types of controls on place. Any user who has been given access to the mobile client and has the mobile client installed on their device is able to add that for access on their device itself. And that is really how simple it is to deploy a mobile gadget. So I went ahead and created a couple of them, and unfortunately, since we don't have the ability to have a display of an actual iPad or iPhone, I went ahead and did a screenshot and emailed it over to myself of a couple that I put together. So I'm going to just pull this up so you can see it. Okay, so you can see here, this was just a default screenshot off of my iPad, and I have the dashboard that I was looking at was one called ConnectCare for our help desk on our ConnectCare help desk, and we can see the 4 gadgets that I had pulled in on the iPad was the average minutes to response, the average minutes to res plan, hours to resolution, and then also the open and close ratio gadget that we have. Now, let me go ahead and show you one additional one that I did. The second page to this one was another dashboard that I created, was using the very original name of the dashboard 1. In this case, I have my open and close ratio formatted a little bit differently. I won't go into all the different formatting, as most of you who are on the call are already V3 users. And you can see I had a little bit different background look and feel, and I also had a count of some machines coming out from, these were some of my test machines of a view that I had in Kaseya in this case. So it's as simple as that. We have now created a dashboard that I can use on my iPad, my iPhone. Actually, I don't use an iPhone, but my iPad or my Android device, and someone could use it on their iPhone as well. All right. So, in a nutshell, this is going to simply require that you're on the latest version of ConnectSMART v3. This is the 3.03b release, which enables you to have the drop-down functionality for multiple database connections, and a updated version of running the current version of the mobile server for ConnectSMART. There's a lot of security controls. You can define passwords if you want to on the gadgets. So even if somebody had access to the URL that you were using, then you would be able to control their access so that you don't have people going rogue. And you can also set up the user ID. So when you're actually connected in from your device, then it can know what your ConnectWise user or your TigerPaw user or your Kaseya user is, so that can actually be passed in as a parameter for all those the personal productivity gadgets that we know and love, to be able to access the information that applies to me and my user. And that's pretty much it. So all you have to do is simply create your gadget, and it will create the native the native gadget for you on your mobile device. It's going to go ahead and download when you launch the application on your device, Power Gadgets Mobile. That's freely available. The mobile client is freely available in the stores for both Apple and Android. You can install that. You can install some test data if you just want to have kind of have an idea. It'll ask you at the end of the installation on your device if you want to have test data, which will connect you to test server for information. And you can go ahead and create your different dashboards. Now, one of the really nice things about the iPad, which is unfortunately can't actually demonstrate it. I was going to try to do it with a webcam, but it just really doesn't work, is you have additional controls on the iPad to where the same idea of building a dashboard, you can add multiple gadgets in and have those displayed the way that I was showing on that on the screenshot. Each of these are a separate gadget, but I was able to add those together and format them in the way, in this case, a 2/3. You can have just a single large one, or like I did in this one, where you have a 2/2, and you can do all your look and feel, change your backgrounds, whether you want it to be a black background or how you want it to view on your device, to where if you're using it like we do in the sales presentation, when I'm not just looking at, how many devices do I have online, or, critical machines offline, but I'm using this as part of our sales to where we can demonstrate, the handle that we have on what's going on in our organization. You can really make it look and feel the way that you want to. So it gives you some really, really nice controls to be able to manage it really any way that you want. All right. And here you can see that this actually, in this case, is the parameters. So the same parameters that I would have at runtime on my on the device, you're able to, it uses the menuing and functionality. So if you enable your end users to be able to change, any of these parameters, then those are available there for them to be able to, go in there and change those, the way that you would want to. All right, so I ran through this really, really quickly. The other thing I want to touch on really quickly is the pricing. So the way that the pricing is set up for the ConnectSMART Mobile is it is a flat addition to your existing subscription. So if you already have whatever package that you're using, it's $100 a month, and that gives you access to the mobile. Now the way that is going to work is each device is going to use a PACAL the same way that a end user or one of your additional desktops are using one of your client licenses. Each mobile device will also take up a client license. So you simply add in the $100 a month, and if you need to add any additional users to take account for that, you would simply update your subscription for the additional number of users needed. So that's anywhere from the $6 to $10 or $6 to $8 a month roughly per device that would be adding into your subscription. All right, so we promised that we would try to keep this as short and sweet as we could. Do we have any questions at this point? Looks like we've got a couple of them here. That was Echo and Echo. All right. So it doesn't look like we have any additional. All right. Go ahead, Kat. And let me go ahead and bring you back on.
If nobody has any questions, I would definitely like to thank all of you for coming, especially our Aussie people. Australia, thank you for showing up. I get to talk to you guys maybe once a week, and I'm really glad that you were actually able to attend one of our webinars. Usually it's in the morning, so thank you again. Are there any questions from anybody? Don't be scared to raise your hands.
All right, Mark.
All right.
All righty, Mark, you are live.
Mark, you're on.
No, I'm just typing my question. Is there a trial?
There is not currently a trial. We can have a, we can have a discussion on that. But we don't currently have a trial product for mobile. But we can have a chat with you about that. Kat will follow up with you.
Okay. If you can turn off my mic, that'd be great.
Sure. All right, any other questions?
I don't hear you.
All right.
I don't
Rob,
hear you.
you're on.
Rob, you're on.
I don't have a microphone.
I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
There you are.
I guess it's picking me up on my webcam. How do you access this from the WAN? I mean, what do you need to open up, or you have to come in on a VPN, or, I mean, obviously we're on mobile devices. Ideally, we're not in the office, right? We're mobile. So what needs to be set up to access from the outside?
Okay.
All right, that's one of the beautiful things about the new ConnectSMART V3 product is that since this is using server-based technology, is that this is simply running, the mobile server is using IIS. So your mobile device will simply connect to your own URL, so you can have your own secure URL, and you can enforce as much security on it as you wish to. But that will be using it will be going over HTTP. In addition to that, your standard gadgets as well. One of the big differences for mobile users, like laptop users, if you're using the ConnectSMART V3, you can also simply have like a URL access as well, or open DNS name, and simply have port. I don't remember which port it is right now. 8087. I'm sorry, 8089. So port 8089 would be the port that the default gadgets will be running over. So that's one of the things, a huge benefit that I have, since I'm mobile a lot. I can not only access it on my tablet, but if I'm working remotely and I'm not on a VPN, and I've been using Windows 8 and having a lot of problems with VPN, all I have to do is simply open up the gadget, and it simply runs because I'm using an external DNS name, and that port has been opened and directed to that to my ConnectSMART server.
Cool.
All right. Any other questions? Going once. Pricing of licenses. Yeah. So Rod had a question on the pricing. So the pricing is going to be it's $100 for the server. And then if you're on a 10-user version, if you're not using all 10 of your licenses, those are device cows, really, is what those end up being. So those device cows will work whether those are on a mobile device or as a desktop client. So it's typically just a flat additional $100 being added to $100 a month being added into your contract. All right. Anything else? All right. I'm going to go ahead and turn this back over to Ken.
All right, guys. Can you hear me? Okay. I just wanted to address one more thing about this mobile device. A lot of feedback that I'm getting from our clients is that they love using it to pitch to their clients, and it shows credibility for your team. A lot of the clients are asking, how do we know that you're on top of your business? Instantly, you can whip out your phone, your iPad, and show them, hey, look, it's right here. I can see what's going on with my business, and I can show you that we're on top of our game, so by the time you're probably calling us, we're already resolving the issue. So that's another point that you can leverage to them to pitch and bring in more sales, more revenue, because that's what it's all about.
One other thing that we found with some of our larger clients, and also people who are using downstream IT, is that whether or not they actually use it, we always have clients, especially initially, who are wanting to say, hey, I know you give us these reports, so we have a monthly meeting with our CIO, or we have these different meetings and reports and things that you're giving, but I want to see the same thing that we saw when we came to your office. I'd like to see how you're doing at my, for me, my company. So for a large organization who needs to have that, we can actually give them that mobile app as well. So for a couple dollars extra a month, then their executives can have access to how well we're doing for their company, so that they can get that insight as well. So especially if you're working with another CIO or a larger organization, they really love that, that capability. All right. Well, I think that was it. If there are no more questions, again, I want to thank everyone for spending a few minutes of your evening or your morning, depending on which time zone you're in. And thank you very much. Kat will be following up with anyone who has any questions or would have any some additional information. And enjoy. Everyone have a great day.